Hi guys, I want to talk about eating out. I just recorded a video, but I felt like it was super random and it didn't really tackle what I wanted to say. So, eating out, I think I didn't struggle too much with it because I was a little bit special that when I had my ED, I always wanted to hide it, that I had a problem with eating. So it was very important to me to just act really normal in front of everyone when it came to what I was eating. So I would always find my way around being okay with eating out. Obviously, I would always order water. I would always make sure that it was as little as possible, but it would still kind of seem normal what I was eating. And so, yeah, I think for me the bigger problem was learning that I could just have a normal day of food and then go out eating, and it would just don't freaking matter. So when I first started recovery and I would go out eating, I would hate it because when you're in recovery and you're actually taking it seriously and eating a lot, usually you stuff yourself the whole day, so you feel very full from the stomach. And then going out and eating, and you're not really physically hungry. Like, of course, you have mental hunger, but then for me, the problem was that as soon as I was with people, my hunger was kind of suppressed. So I couldn't really enjoy all of the food, but I still went, I still ate. I feel like when I started eating everything, I got hungry. And weirdly also I got full very quickly. But then when I came home I was hungry again. But the special thing was I was on exchange, so eating out was a big thing because it was just a way to connect to people, or to, if you wanted to meet someone, like a new friend, the easiest thing was to meet for a coffee or for food. So very often I would just meet with people for eating out. And so I literally just had to be okay with eating out. But then in general, my family likes eating out. We don't go too often, but we do go on a very frequent basis. Maybe once every 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we eat out. And in holidays, every day. So that was fine with me. Also, I kind of had this mindset that it was, I don't know. I think over time I developed the mindset of, I'm not sure if that's helping what I'm telling you, but I was always like, why should I waste money on food that won't actually give me energy? So at some point I was actually like, okay, you know what? If I go and eat and then I come home and I still have to eat because I chose like the really low cal option, that would just be stupid AF. So that was kind of one mindset that helped me. Also, I started telling myself to not really order water, but some special drink, some soda with it. I just, because it was a struggle that I had to, because I was kind of scared of anything that wasn't water. So I set my rule that I would consciously choose something that was not water. And then the biggest problem I had was trying to compensate during the day or after. So when I knew I would go out and eat this and that, I was like, oh, okay, but then I have to make sure to like walk there in order to be hungry, or to eat little lunch, or whatever stupid thing I came up with. And so over time I just really fought against that, and I started to try to just live a normal day and see eating out as just eating at home. It was the same thing, so I would be okay with anything. And then what also helped me a lot was going out with people that do not give a shit about food, that just choose whatever they crave, that eat a lot, that eat very calorie dense food and really don't care. That helped me a lot. So I had this one friend, she's super cute, one of the cutest human beings. She's very small and skinny, like short and skinny. And she always, when we went out to eat, she ordered a normal Coke, appetizer, normal food. She was always super full, but she was always enjoying so much. And she was just kind of an inspiration because she just was so carefree around it. She didn't think about it. The only thing that mattered to her that she was craving it, and that's what I wanted to be like. And then also, yeah, I try to stop being so obsessed with walking to the place in order to be hungry, because you can also go to a place without walking and still be hungry. It was more so an excuse for me to compensate a little bit or to make up for the food. And then also, I would have to tell myself that, yeah, trying to eat little before eating out just is not the point, because in the end, if you eat out and you're not hungry, then you just leave the freaking rest on the plate. My god. It's nothing crazy, but usually that won't happen to you in recovery because you're super hungry anyway. So I try to explain to you an example. On Christmas, my family, they always starve themselves for a day and then they eat a lot. And then they feel sick, and the next morning they're like, oh, I just ate so much. And then there's me. Last Christmas, I think it was perfect because the only thing that stressed me was schoolwork, but other than that, I was so chill. So I woke up, I had normal breakfast. I think also I had quite a lot of chocolate, Christmas chocolate. I had some type of lunch, but not a lot because my breakfast was super late and we already left at 4. So I had some lunch. I was not hungry, but also I was kind of excited for the food, but in a way of, I wasn't low energy, I was just really neutral. And so we arrived, and I wasn't constantly thinking about food and be like, oh my god, should I take now the appetizer or should I leave it out, blah blah blah. No, I was just honestly not that hungry. I preferred the alcohol. And then when it came to the food, I was just eating normal dinner. And then we had such a long break between dinner and dessert that I was hungry for dessert again, because I get hungry very frequently during the day. So then for me, it was just a freaking normal day of food, and everyone made such a huge drama around it. So I would try to look at eating out in the same way. Just see it as something normal. See it as a normal dinner. And then when you arrive, I think there's a problem of kind of freezing and then your ED taking over. And so you kind of try to choose your ED or the things that your ED would prefer because they don't scare you. And the only tip that I can give you, which always works out, the first thought you have, the first thing you look at on the menu and think, oh, maybe, just take that. Because usually you look at something, it sounds kind of nice, and then you start thinking. So when it comes to food choices, honestly, trust your gut, trust your intuition. There's always system 1, system 2, I'm not sure which one, but system 1 is, I think, the of the brain, is the one where it's just the gut feeling, and then system 2 is the one that thinks irrationally. And the rational thinking, in that case, don't trust it because it's your ED. It's like the diet culture thoughts or whatever weird rules you have in your ED. No, just trust your intuition. The first feeling you have, like if you think, oh, that pasta with gorgonzola cheese, whatever, looks good, and then your other thoughts come in and they're like, oh, but where's the protein, where's the greens, blah blah blah. Who cares? Like, if you crave it and you know it's gonna fulfill you, satisfy you, choose that, and then top it off with a really high calorie drink. I don't care if it contains alcohol or not. I always opt for Fanta, you know it, or I also like wine. Sometimes I like sparkling water as well, but then I'm like, why am I wasting money for something that doesn't contain calories? I'm kidding, but sometimes this is my mindset, especially if I'm very hungry. I cannot understand why you wouldn't choose a soft drink over water. So yeah, that was some really random thoughts that came to me when I was thinking about eating out. I would recommend you to choose the highest calorie option, but then this is kind of too much thinking. So literally, if you go into the restaurant, you sit down, you look at the menu, the first thing that kind of looks good to you, choose it. Because afterwards, your thoughts will really calm and your eating behaviors and whatever. But, and you cannot trust that. And then also don't settle for something just because your friend takes it and you don't want to feel like you eat more than them. No, stick with your gut feeling. And yeah, just also, if you're scared, like, oh, maybe it's too much, well, if it's too much, just take home the rest. But probably it won't be too much, you're just scared of eating too much, which is not a thing, but you know, your ED is scared of you eating more than it wants you to eat. So just take the big portion with the extra whatever, extra oil. Also, if you eat bread with your salad, ask for butter or oil and then put butter or oil on the bread. Just like the things that you should do in order to really scare away your ED. And I don't know, I think it's just very fun because at the start you just, even the simplest things freak you out, and at some point, at least me, I got so into my recovery that I always try to choose the most extreme opposite of what I used to do. So as I said, I would put a lot of oil on my bread or put always the extra cheese, like every single bit of cheese or whatever. I would just try to choose the highest calorie option possible, but that's probably towards the end of your ED, and at some point you just don't have extreme hunger anymore, so it's not that necessary anymore because you will just feel stuffed. But just remember that when you are eating out, just don't be scared of eating too much, because that's not a thing. If you are actually full, you can just leave the rest. It's not a problem. And then about the options, again, trust your gut. Don't trust your thoughts, conscious thoughts. Yeah, so those are my tips. And most importantly, don't compensate in any form. Just go out, treat it like a normal dinner. Point. Bye.